Some of the world's best mixed martial arts fighters are in action exclusively on Prime Video, an event you can watch right here, One Fight Night 11. To help us get ready for, we have MMA broadcaster Curran Bhatia in studio. You've seen him on DAZN, ESPN, NBC Sports, and tonight he's on the backup plan.
Glad to be here. You nailed the name. That was awesome.
I got it right.
Thank you. That was perfect. I know it's not easy. No, thank you guys for having me. And I'm pumped because I guess this is like the official lead-in show for One Fight Night, right? It's coming up, so
yes.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yes, we're counting down the minutes here actually for this one. So first of all, I want to ask you obviously about the main event. We have Rayhan Ersol versus Dmitry Menchikov. Now, this is for the lightweight Muay Thai World Championship.
Correct.
What can we expect to see from these two in this matchup?
Yeah. I'm excited about this matchup. Now, we're talking about hard names. This card is filled with them, right? So let's start with Rayhan Ersol. Now, first, let me just say, One Fight Night 11, right? This is at the Lumpini Boxing Stadium. This place is like the Mecca of Muay Thai. That's what they call it. It was actually built in 1956, and it was named after the birthplace of Buddha. I don't know if you guys are spiritual,
I had no clue, yeah.
but now you know. So Rayhan Ersol, okay, he's a two-time champion, kickboxing, Muay Thai. It's one thing to be a champion at one sport, right? Michael Jordan did in basketball. What happened when he tried baseball? Didn't work so much. So you got to give Rayhan Ersol his respect, right? You have to. He's going in. He has a tough fight. He's taking on Dmitry Menchikov. He's a former hockey player, a former football player, so multi-sport athlete. And here's the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this fight. We got a 7-year winning streak for Rayhan Ersol. 7 years. This is pre-pandemic, before we wore masks, right? We're going way back. Versus an 11-fight winning streak. So someone's streak has to be broken. I'm excited about this one.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. A lot on the line.
Yeah, Menchikov is making his debut.
He's making his one championship debut.
How much of I guess for lack of a better term, a curveball is he throwing? Because we have 7 years of looking at Ersol and nothing on Menchikov.
So obviously Menchikov wants to make a good debut on one championship. The thing is, he's on his own 11 fights outside in other promotions. This is his first time in one. So this is his time to shine in one and get the attention, win a title, and become the headliner, right? Right now he's challenging, so he wants to become the champion.
So there's some other world championships on the line here. Obviously, the lightweight submission grappling world championship. Now, submission grappling is a totally different entity here. American Cade Ruotolo competing for this title. In just 3 fights, he's risen through the One Fighting Championship ranks. What does he need to do tonight to defeat his opponent?
It's pretty simple. For Cade, he needs to keep doing what he's doing. This is what Cade wants to be. He wants to be the greatest submission grappler in the world. Now, let me ask you this. How many other submission grapplers can you name? I personally can't name any others.
I got Cade, I got his cousin, I got his
there you go.
There's a good amount at one.
Well, there you go. Well, I can't name that many others. So I think he's actually well on his way to that goal for that reason. He's also got his twin brother, Ty. They've been lighting up this sport, lighting up grappling, lighting up submissions. And what he needs to do is just keep doing what he's doing. He's been winning. He's submitted every single opponent. The one thing he said at this point, he said, I submit them all. Now it's about doing it even faster. It's almost like Babe Ruth calling his shot in when he picks a home run, where he's going to hit it, right? That's what Cade's doing. He's up against tough Tommy Langaker, who's a striker, right? So it's a different type of style. Tommy Langaker is also known as one of the greatest BJJ artists out of Europe. So this is like a really good matchup. So I'm excited to see it.
Submission grappling is so interesting to see in person, by the way. I saw this when I was at One Fight Night 10 in Denver. I mean, they are like full throttle on top of each other.
Yes.
And they do it so quickly that you almost don't even realize how they're doing it or what's happening, right?
There's an art to it. There's a science to it. It's, if you watch BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or grappling, right, you might say, wow, it looks like 2 people are wrestling on the ground. What exactly is happening? But there is such an art to the placement, the foot placement, the hand placement, what you're doing. You're setting things up. It's really like, it's like a chess match on the ground. And for people who haven't seen it before, I highly recommend checking out One Fight Night 11 because you can get an idea of what this is. You want to get your opponent into a submission position, get a submission. It's not easy to do, but Cade Ruotolo has made it look easy.
You've seen so many of these various forms of mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Take us through the training of these athletes because like it's more than what we are traditionally accustomed with boxing. It's like the versatility of grappling, of kicking, of punching, of striking. That shows the true versatility of a fighter, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I have so much respect for combat sports athletes. And the reason is, I would tell the average person, myself included, go into a boxing ring or a cage, put your hands up like this for 3 minutes and move around. You're going to be tired after you do that, right? I've tried it. It does happen. It's a good workout. Now you have someone else coming at you trying to punch you in the face. I mean, that's such a difficult thing. And if you look at the endurance, that's why a lot of combat sports athletes are in great shape because of that reason. So I think the training is a big part of it. Now when you add these other types of disciplines, grappling, kicking, kickboxing, all of that stuff, flying knees, like, how are you going to defend against all that? Not only do you have to have your own offensive attack, but you need to defend against people coming at you. I think it's a very difficult sport. I think that's why when combat sports, you get the best versus the best, it's one of the greatest sports that you can have, is because it's such a tough discipline to do.
Yeah. One of the last things I wanted to ask you about in terms of One Fight Night 11, one of the greatest names in the sport, considered the best pound-for-pound kickboxer, Superbon. Now, what will we see from him tonight when he enters the circle?
Yeah, so Superbon, he is a legend, pound-for-pound legend. He's making his return at One Fight Night 11. I'm really excited to see it. Here's why. He's had 140 professional bouts. 140 times he's competed at the highest possible level. Here's what's most intriguing about Superbon. He is the pound-for-pound greatest, one of the best fighters of all time. He lost his last time out. And this is what I always think is interesting, right? The great athletes, if you are truly great, it's okay to fall, it's okay to lose, right? Jordan had to get by Detroit, right? Ali lost to Frazier, came back, beat him twice. Yeah. So it's about how you respond. And that's what we're going to see with Superbon. We're going to say, it's okay to fall down, but how do you come back? And that's what we get to see tonight, One Fight Night 11.
Super excited. One Fight Night 11 exclusively on Prime Video begins in literally 23 minutes. So you got some time to hang out with us before you flip over. But we also have a big boxing weekend here in New York City. Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez. This is a title bout as well, isn't it?
This is a title bout. Josh Taylor versus Teofimo. I'm very excited. This is at 140 pounds. And the reason this is a super interesting fight, there's a lot of bad blood. So Teofimo Lopez, he was what we call the undisputed champion. In boxing, there's 4 different belts. It's very hard to get them all. Teofimo had that at 135 pounds. He's now moving up to challenge the undisputed champion, who was the undisputed champion, at 140 pounds. That's Josh Taylor. So that makes it exciting as is. But there's also a lot of bad blood. I actually interviewed both men. And there was such bad blood that Josh Taylor got up out of the interview and left. He said, I've had enough of this guy. They had a weigh-in and a press conference this week. They had to be physically separated by security. They weren't allowed to stare each other down. You guys have seen in boxing stare downs, right? They get face-to-face.
Right.
The police were separating them because they didn't want anything to happen before the fight. So that's the bad blood that's involved with Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor.
Oh my gosh, that's definitely different than what we're used to seeing at One, right? We were just talking about this actually during the commercial break on how things are a little bit different for them in terms of how they sort of battle it out pre-fight.
Yeah, in One championship, there's a lot of respect there, right? You start in your gym, you have to work your way up, you have to get your opportunity. And that's not to say that doesn't happen in boxing, it does, but it's a little different because boxing also has a lot of marketing aspects, right? You want to market yourself. We've seen people from other walks of life, like YouTubers, like Jake Paul, doing well in boxing, and that's because he has the marketing aspect down.
Absolutely.
And sometimes Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul was a great fight. So the part of it is that the reason is you want to maybe be a little disrespectful. You want to, have some marketing aspect. You want to talk smack in boxing because you want to get that next big fight. It's different in One championship. You want to work your way up through each fight. That's what happens in One.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
No, I was going to say tonight. It's going to be a unique setup on One because we have so many different versatile aspects of mixed martial arts on display.
That's exactly true. It's not just like a card where you see all boxing or even all MMA like you'd see in a UFC card. We talked about grappling, right? We talked about MMA. There's going to be kickboxing. So it's all different types of combat, and that's what makes One championship so exciting. It's the one huge promotion that showcases all different types of discipline. So you see one fight, and you say, "Oh, that's grappling. Okay, they're not going to be throwing punches. No, they're just going to be grappling on the ground." The next fight, they might be kickboxing. So you get a lot of variety in that way, and that's what makes One exciting.
Well, we're super excited, Curran. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Enjoy the fights tonight and tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We absolutely will. Looking forward to it. We actually have more One Fight Night 11 coverage coming to you just on the other side of the break. Stay with us right here on The Back of Plan.